I wasn't a fan of the sprint races this past season, but just because it seemed like pointless to me. It just seemed like they were just trying to create more racing. Basically, they just wanted more laps. And what bothered me the most is that they didn't call it a race. It is a
Mm.
race. It's a short race, but it's a race. It I don't I didn't like how the points were handed out. 3 points to number one, then 2 points, then 1 point, and then no other points for the rest of the grid. I didn't like that at all. But what they've come up with for this upcoming season, I definitely like a lot. Giving points to the top 10, I think is really cool. It's really smart. It gives people incentive to want to overtake. I mean, if you're last season, if you're in sixth, you're not going to fight for fourth? You know what I mean?
Right.
While Max and Lewis and Bottas are way in the distance, there's really no point. But now there is a point. I like that pole, or in the record books, pole is going to be given to the qualifying pole position. I think that's a good move. I did not like that pole was considered the winner of the sprint race. I thought that was dumb. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I don't like the idea of that being the norm.
Mhm.
I like it being sort of like an anomaly, sort of like something that happens a couple of times a year. I think that's going to be really cool. I know some people don't like it at all, but I like what they're doing this upcoming season.
Yeah, it's nice when it's just like a once in a while it comes on, you're like, oh yeah, that's this weekend. It'll be fun.
Yep.
But it's so they're setting it as the qualify, whoever wins quali, they technically get pole, but say like Max wins is leading after quali, but then like Checo is leading after the sprint race, Checo would start the actual race in first, correct?
Yes.
Like on technically pole, but so that's why it's a little bit confusing. But I agree that for the record
Yeah.
books, it does look better because otherwise qualifying is sort of diminished. Yeah, the Brazil sprint race was definitely the best one. But like, I mean, anytime you're going to put one of the fastest cars at the back and they're going to be going
Yep.
through, like that's going to be more exciting. So like I've argued for not argue, I have no one to argue with, but like I've thought at one point like what they do in F2, they kind of do like a half reverse grid. They do like the top, I don't know what it is, like the bottom 10 start top 10 or something like that. I forget exactly how they do it, but they do for one of there's the reverse grid, which is kind of interesting because then you'll have like Mazepan starting first for the sprint race, but then so it'd be very interesting to have
Wow.
like Lewis and Max coming from 20th to 19th, and then they have to overtake. But I guess
Yeah.
then there's you run the risk of, like we were talking about earlier, if do you want to risk crashing out your car and then not being able to go in
Yeah.
the real race? But that would
Right.
be pretty interesting to see, even if they just did it once a year, to see like just reverse the grid and have Max and Lewis starting at the back for
Yeah.
30 laps or 25 laps or whatever it is. That'd be cool.
I I again I've recently started to like get more into it, but I did not watch I watched some highlights of Formula 2, but I did not even know that was a thing.
Oh, okay.
The reverse
And I
grid.
could be explaining it wrong, but I know there's
That
something in
is
F2 where they do that.
no, that is like that's awesome. Like that,
Mhm.
just you even saying that like just got me hyped just thinking about it. Like